When I first experienced Kundalini, it was age 28 when I had a spontaneous uprising, you could say, as I was brushing my teeth in a guest house in Kathmandu. I felt this heat whiz up my spine. It got stuck behind my ear here and knocked me unconscious. I was sick or weak for around 2 years after this happened, and it led me on a journey very deeply into myself over the last 10 or 12 years. And this journey led me not only to understand Kundalini, but how to deal with it in myself, with something that I had no control over of, and how to support other women to do this also. I realised through my experience with belly dance, which I started learning when I was 15, that there was something much more deeply hidden within the movements. I'd always felt this. I'd had an interest from when I was 7, going to an Egyptian museum, and I'd always asked, what do these hand positions mean? What are they doing? Why are they standing in these positions? Nobody could ever tell me. And the more that I started to study various modalities, I started to see the links between martial arts, between Osho dynamic meditation, between Gurdjieff sacred dances, Sufi whirling, belly dance, and how these energies corresponded to each other and how they could cross over and be used in a very different way, or maybe a way that we've forgotten about as women, and how the world of belly dance as I knew it was very much an external form of expression and artistic creativity. But as I began to work on myself and go deeper and deeper, my performances began to change, the way that I taught began to change, and people noticed these changes. And I knew that this was coming from the inside. The outside didn't really matter. It didn't matter what makeup I wore, what costumes I wore, the surroundings that I was in. What mattered was the dance of me from the inside, becoming the dance, not perfecting it and learning it to a level which is thought of okay on the outside and can be judged by other people, but in a way that I could fully express myself in my own truth and be a fucking amazing dancer at the same time. So many people ask me about awakened belly dance. How did I come to invent it or create it? What happened? And there wasn't really any starting point. It began the moment that my consciousness came into existence. It was something that I knew from a very early age, that I was following something. I didn't know what it was for a long time, but I knew that I had to get to a place or a point quickly. And I interpreted that as a child or a teenager, that I thought I was going to die by the time I was 32. As I got to that age, I realised it was the end of my Saturn return, and emerging into me. It was the death of me. And since that time, there's been many more deaths. And I guess there will continue to be. So we, as women, we have this feeling, we have this calling. Something isn't there. It's not being presented to us. We have to find it. We have to chase it and fully embrace and take it captive for yourself. It's not going to come to you. You have to be prepared to do the work, to die to your ego, to die a million billion times to everybody else's judgments and perceptions of what they think you should be and what they're allowing you to be. So this is something as huge as you want to make it. It's just a choice in that moment of who you want to be. What do you want to embody within this physical body that we're in right now? And how are you going to use that for the rest of the world? For all women, all the women who have come before us and are coming after us. How are you going to use your power and just be fucking awesome?